First Amendment. This amendment is like the first rule in a rule book, and it's all about freedom. It says you can believe in any religion, or not believe at all, without the government picking a favorite. You can speak your mind, write what you want, get together with others peacefully, and ask the government to fix things when they make a mistake. It's about protecting your voice and your thoughts so that they can be as loud or as quiet as you want. Second Amendment. This one is about being able to have weapons. Back when the country started, the founders wanted people to be able to protect themselves and their homes, and also to be ready to help out if there was a big problem that needed everyone to fight together, like an invasion. Nowadays, it's a hot topic, because some people say it's about personal safety and freedom, while others worry about guns causing harm. Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love. Third Amendment. Imagine soldiers knocking on your door and saying they're moving in and you have to feed them too. The Third Amendment says that can't happen in peacetime. It's pretty specific because back when the amendment was written, that was a real problem. These days, it's not something that happens, but it's still important because it's about the idea that your home is your safe space and the government can't just barge in. Fourth Amendment. This is like a no trespassing sign for your privacy. It says the government can't just search through your stuff or take it without a good reason. If they think you've done something wrong, they need to get permission from a judge and be very specific about what they're looking for. It's a shield to protect your personal space and information from being grabbed without cause. Fifth Amendment. This amendment is like a safety net for fairness. It says you can't be punished without a proper legal process. You don't have to testify against yourself in court. If you think you might say something that could lead to you being blamed for a crime, you can choose to stay silent. And you can't be tried twice for the same crime. It's about making sure the system is fair and doesn't just steamroll over you. Sixth Amendment. When someone is accused of a crime, this amendment ensures they get a fair shot at defending themselves. It means you get to be tried quickly, without unnecessary delays. You can see who's accusing you, call your own witnesses, and have a lawyer to help make your case. Even if you can't afford one, the court will provide one. It's like a rule book for a fair fight in court, making sure everyone gets a chance to tell their side of the story. Seventh Amendment. If you're ever involved in a more common dispute over money or property, not a criminal case, this amendment guarantees you can have a group of regular people, called a jury, listen to the facts and decide who's right. It's a way of keeping these decisions in the hands of the community, and once the jury decides, that's usually the final word. It's like having neighbors help sort out a disagreement, so it's fair. Eighth Amendment. This one is about making sure punishments fit the crime. It says no one should be hit with super high fines or the harshest treatments, like torture, for their crimes. It's like a reminder that even when people do wrong, they're still human and deserve a certain level of dignity. And the punishment shouldn't be so extreme that it shocks the conscience. Ninth Amendment. This amendment is like a safety net for all the other freedoms that weren't listed out in the Constitution. Just because a right isn't written down doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's like saying the rule book can't cover everything, and just because something isn't in there doesn't mean it's not important or protected. It's a recognition that people have more rights than could ever be listed. 10th Amendment. Think of the United States like a cake with layers. The top layer is the federal government, and the bottom layers are the states. This amendment says that any powers that the top layer didn't specifically take are left for the states or for the people. It's about balance and making sure that not all the power is just in one place, giving local places the freedom to make their own rules too. 13th Amendment. This amendment is a cornerstone for freedom, as it officially ended the brutal practice of slavery. It says no one can be forced to work for someone else without choosing to and getting paid for it, except as a punishment for a crime where the person had a fair trial. It's a powerful statement that human beings cannot be owned or treated as less than anyone else, and it paved the way for civil rights movements. 14th Amendment. This is a big one for equality. It made sure that all people born or naturalized in the United States are citizens and have equal protection under the law. It means states can't make or enforce laws that cut down the rights of any citizen, and everyone's entitled to fairness from the courts. It's like saying no matter where you come from, what you look like, or where you were born, you're part of the team, with the same rules for all. 15th Amendment. This amendment took a stand against racial injustice by saying that a person's race or color or a past of slavery can't stop them from voting. It was a leap forward for democracy and racial equality, making it clear that the right to choose who makes the big decisions in government belongs to all citizens, regardless of their skin color or what their ancestors went through. 19th Amendment. Before this amendment, women in the United States didn't have the right to vote. This 100-word law changed history by saying that you can't be kept from voting because of your gender. It was a massive win for women's rights, recognizing that women's voices and choices are just as important in shaping the country and its laws as men's. It's a statement that in democracy, gender should never be a barrier to participating fully in political life. 26th Amendment. This amendment is about trust in the youth. It lowered the national voting age to 18, saying that if you're old enough to be drafted into the military, you're old enough to have a say in who sends you there. It's a recognition that young adults are responsible enough to make important decisions and should have a voice in laws that affect their lives. It's about not underestimating someone's ability to contribute to society just because of their age.